Hello, we come to Africa Explored. Please subscribe to the channel if you just came across this, and let's continue. Let's talk about America's sudden, intense interest. It's a shift that's caught many by surprise, a new chapter in a long and complex relationship. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation rich in resources, vast in territory, and now seemingly vital to America's strategic interests. For years, Congo was largely overlooked by Washington. It was a place often relegated to the back burner of foreign policy, known more for conflict, instability, and humanitarian crises than for economic opportunity or strategic partnership. But now, in 2025, the narrative is changing. US officials are flocking to Kinshasa, the capital city, in numbers unseen in recent history, talking partnerships, forging alliances, and laying the groundwork for long-term collaboration. Investments pouring capital into various sectors, from infrastructure to technology, and security, bolstering military cooperation and addressing regional threats. This isn't casual. It's not just a fleeting visit or a symbolic gesture. It's a strategic pivot, a calculated move on the global chessboard. The US is calling Congo a vital partner, a phrase loaded with significance. A clear sign there's more at stake than goodwill, more than just diplomatic niceties. Why now? What's driving this sudden surge of interest? Because the world is in a tech race, a fierce competition for technological dominance. And Congo's minerals, particularly cobalt and lithium, are the magic ingredients, the essential components for powering the future. This is about securing supply chains, ensuring a reliable flow of critical resources, for the next century's technology, for the innovations that will shape our world. For Congolese people, who have long endured hardship and exploitation, this attention is both promising and eerily familiar, a mix of hope and apprehension. They've seen foreign powers come and go throughout their history, always with big promises, grand visions, and ambitious plans. Now, Congo is the main character in a global power struggle, a focal point of international interest. America, China, Russia, and other major players, all vying for influence, all seeking to secure their stake in Congo's future. The people watch diplomatic convoys roll by, a constant reminder of the external forces at play, hearing talk of a brighter future, of prosperity and progress, but remembering past betrayals, the broken promises that littered their history. They know when giants fight, when powerful nations clash, it's the grass that suffers, the ordinary people who bear the brunt of the conflict. The question that hangs in the air, unspoken but ever present: are these giants here to help, to genuinely assist in Congo's development, or to trample Congo once again, to exploit its resources and leave its people behind? The world is watching, observing this complex dance of power and influence. But so are the Congolese, with a keen eye and a long memory, hoping for a future where their nation's wealth benefits its own people. To understand the stakes, meet Congo's neighbors: Traoré in Burkina Faso, Goïta in Mali, and Tchiani in Niger. These military leaders aren't impressed by America's charm offensive. They represent a new assertive Pan-Africanism, skeptical of Western intentions. They've kicked out French troops, looked to Russia, and demand true sovereignty. When the US cozies up to Congo, they see a familiar pattern: foreign powers seeking control. Their message: Africa must stand together against outside manipulation. Their influence is growing, fueling a regional bloc that challenges Western dominance. This isn't just politics. It's a clash of worldviews. The US wants to build bridges. These leaders build walls of resistance. They warn Congo: don't fall for old tricks in new packaging. The continent is listening, and Congo is caught in the middle. The tug of war for Africa's future is on. Why is Congo suddenly so important? Look beneath the surface, literally. Congo holds over 70% of the world's cobalt, essential for batteries in everything from smartphones to electric cars. Add coltan, copper, gold, tin, lithium. Congo is a mineral jackpot. In the 21st century, whoever controls these minerals controls the future of technology and energy. But this wealth has been a curse, fueling conflict, corruption, and poverty for generations. Foreign powers have long exploited Congo's riches, leaving ordinary people behind. Now, as the US scrambles to catch up with China's mining deals, Congolese people wonder, will this time be different? Is this a chance for real development, or just another chapter of exploitation? The stakes are higher than ever. Congo's resources could power the world, or perpetuate its own suffering. The world's eyes are on Congo's soil, but its people want more than promises. America's renewed interest in the region is generating a lot of buzz. But what does it actually look like on the ground, away from the headlines and diplomatic meetings? What are the tangible effects of this engagement? It's a multifaceted approach, involving money, military support, and high-level meetings between key players. These are the visible signs of a deeper commitment. US companies are strategically eyeing opportunities in mines, infrastructure development, and job creation initiatives, like the ambitious Lobito Corridor Railway project, designed to efficiently move valuable minerals to market, opening up new trade routes. On paper, it's a development dream, a vision of progress and prosperity, promising new roads, a surge in job opportunities, and significant foreign investment. But beyond the economic aspects, there's also a crucial security angle to consider, with US military advisors actively involved in training Congolese forces, enhancing their capabilities. This includes offering vital intelligence support and providing essential military equipment. The overarching goal is to stabilize the volatile eastern region, which has been plagued by the persistent threat of numerous armed groups. Yet, the presence of foreign troops and the scale of these big projects inevitably stir old fears and anxieties about potential foreign interference in local affairs. In the bustling mining towns, the sight of American geologists working alongside Congolese soldiers brings a sense of hope for new jobs and economic opportunities, but also fuels anxiety and concerns about potential displacement and escalating violence. The personal story of Jean, an artisanal miner working in the region, poignantly captures the complex dilemma facing many in his community. The alluring promises of safer, more formal work environments juxtaposed with the very real fear of being left behind and marginalized in the process. For some, the influx of American investment represents a golden opportunity for advancement and prosperity, while for others, it signifies a period of profound uncertainty and potential disruption. The growing American footprint in the region is therefore a complex tapestry woven with threads of both hope and anxiety, representing progress and advancement for some segments of the population, but also potential peril and disruption for others. Every new project that breaks ground brings with it a dual nature, embodying both immense promise and inherent risk. The underlying reality is that development is never a simple or straightforward process, and unfortunately, the benefits are rarely distributed equally, meaning not everyone emerges as a winner. The increasing US presence is undeniably reshaping lives and communities across the region, and the long-term consequences of this influence remain to be seen, potentially leading to outcomes that are either for better or for worse. Ultimately, the future trajectory of the region hinges on a critical question: who will truly benefit from these changes? And perhaps more importantly, who will inevitably be left out and marginalized in the process? As it stands today, Congo stands at a critical crossroads, facing a pivotal moment in its history, with the potential to either gain significant ground or, conversely, to lose everything it has worked towards. To know what Congolese people think? Listen beyond the headlines. Young, educated Congolese see American interest as a possible lifeline. Jobs, investment, a chance to change the narrative. They hope US-China competition might finally benefit Congo. But skepticism runs deep, especially among older generations who remember broken promises and foreign-backed dictators. Many say, they're not here for us, but for what's under our soil. Debates rage. Is US help a path to progress or a neo-colonial trap? Some argue Congo needs powerful partners. Others warn against repeating history. Most want simple things: peace, stability, a fair share of their country's wealth. They care less about geopolitics, more about daily life, schools, hospitals, jobs. If US involvement brings real improvements, they'll support it. If not, it's just another betrayal. The people are watching closely. Promises aren't enough. Results will decide America's welcome. America's Congo pivot is shaking up all of Africa. In the African Union and beyond, leaders are forced to pick sides or rethink alliances. Some, like Kenya and South Africa, see US involvement as a stabilizing force and a counter to China. Others, led by the Sahel states, view it as a threat to African independence. This divide risks fueling proxy conflicts as global powers back different factions. The situation in eastern Congo could become even more volatile. President Tshisekedi must balance US support with regional trust and national sovereignty. Every move is scrutinized. By Washington, by neighbors, by his own people. The stakes Congo's future and the unity of Africa itself. The continent is at a crossroads with Congo at its heart. The choices made now will echo far beyond its borders. Africa's political landscape is being redrawn in real time. This feels like a 21st century scramble for Africa, a new era of intense competition for influence and resources. It's less about flags and colonial administrations, and more about contracts, intricate supply chains, and strategic investments. The dynamics have shifted, but the underlying pursuit remains the same. The main players in this new scramble: the US, China, Russia, and Europe, each with their own strategic interests and long-term goals in the region. The prize: Africa's vast resources, especially the Democratic Republic of Congo's immense mineral wealth. China has a significant head start, controlling a substantial portion of Congo's crucial mining sector after years of dedicated investment and strategic partnerships. The US is now playing catch-up. Its engagement in Africa is often seen as a direct response to China's growing dominance and influence in the region. For Congo, this intense rivalry presents both an unprecedented opportunity and a significant risk. In theory, this competition could translate into better deals, more favorable terms, and increased leverage for the Congolese government. In reality, however, it could also transform Congo into a proxy battleground for a new Cold War, with devastating consequences. Competing global powers might actively back rival political factions within Congo, further deepening existing divisions, exacerbating ethnic tensions, and ultimately fueling violent conflict. The already volatile eastern region of Congo could easily become a proxy war zone, with ordinary Congolese people tragically caught in the crossfire of geopolitical maneuvering. Congo's leaders may find themselves forced to choose sides in this global power struggle, potentially risking their nation's hard-won independence and long-term autonomy. The hope remains that this competition will ultimately foster genuine partnership and mutual benefit. The ever-present fear is that it will only bring more chaos, instability, and suffering to the Congolese people. Congo's fate and the fate of its people hangs precariously in the balance. Congo stands at a crossroads with two futures ahead. One path repeats history. Foreign deals enrich elites, while most Congolese remain poor and conflict persists. Mines bring jobs for a few, but also displacement and environmental harm. Security aid escalates violence instead of ending it. Congo's wealth powers other nations, but not its own people. The other path is brighter: fair deals, real development, and investment in schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. A vigilant civil society and wise leadership leverage US-China rivalry for Congo's benefit. Security aid builds a professional, accountable army. Congo breaks the resource curse, becoming a model for Africa. This future demands courage, unity, and a shift from extractive partnerships to real respect. The world is watching, but the outcome depends on Congolese choices. For the first time in decades, a better future feels possible. Ultimately, this story isn't about America, China, or Russia. It's about Congo and its people. For too long, Africa's fate was decided by outsiders. Now, global attention gives Congo leverage if used wisely. Leaders like Traoré, Goïta, and Tchiani demand respect and true partnership, not paternalism. The future must be forged by Africans for Africans. That means strong institutions, accountable leadership, and real Pan-African unity. The continent's young, dynamic population is its greatest asset. As superpowers circle, Congo's destiny depends on its own resilience and unity. This could be an awakening, a chance to write a new story. Not of what's taken from Africa, but what's built there. A future where African hands shape African destiny. The world is watching, but Africans are ready to lead. The next chapter is theirs to write.